wagon. Finally, at least we're not blocking the road too much.
Heal! Search.
Oh, Jesus, what a stench. Better quickly throw it in a sack and take it back to the wagon.
Here, mutt.
What do you mean already? What lackeys?
Hey, we've got another one
Hey.
over here.
Drop that right now and get... Hey, drop that right now and get over here.
Excuse me.
Hey, drop that right now and get over here. I want to talk to you. You hear me, damn it?
God grant you health.
Get the hell out of here, or there'll be trouble. I'm...
What's going on, Ignatius?
I'm trying to explain to these fellas we've got nothing to do with no thieving around here. They should go to Lower Sameen to complain.
Two stinking pieces of shit was sneaking around our sties and cellars and lining their purses with silver too while they was at it. Some scruffy and dunger. You must be scruffy, eh?
I'm Henry, and those, names mean nothing to me.
Like I said, if it's rotten carrion they're after, they should have come to me. A passion for knacking is the only thing we have in common.
Is that so? So prove it then.
Take a good look at me. Do I look like a thief? Or more like a commonplace, maybe just slightly grubby, hired hand? At this rate, you could blame any old peasant who's grimy after a hard day's work.
I don't know. I don't reckon I've ever seen a real thief up close.
Ask around about me and you'll find out everyone knows I can't stand a liar. I'll keep my promises and show up on time. So enough talk and let's carry on to where duty calls us.
All right, listen. We'll be going then. But if you happen to run into them two thieves, you tell us right away. Got it?
Of course.
You can count on it.
Glad to hear it. Let's go, fellas. Maybe...
Do you want to keep going or not?
Maybe it was the one with that shape.
Not much left for us to do here, eh?
Hopefully our luck will hold out, and we'll only be breaking the limbs of carcasses today. The next farm's just up ahead. Hop on, and let's go. Here we come, Snorter. Don't worry. Excuse me. Come on, then. Get a move on. That was just a kind of little favor for me. Now we'll help the locals here in Jdar with their carcasses. One carcass and you're at a loss for words? Yesterday, the good wife from that farm came and told me both their pigs died. So we'll scoop them up and haul them off. I mean, you'll scoop them up and haul them to my cart. She says it was a curse. There was a flash of lightning, the pigs started trembling, squealing and puking, and then keeled over and dropped dead.
All right, that's what you get. People sin here in their seclusion, thinking they're out of sight of our Lord.
It ain't my first day doing this job, so I could see right off them pigs had been poisoned. The good wife swore them pigs were happy as, well, pigs in shit. She said they even let them go to a nearby stream to have a wallow. It flows here through the forest on the right. Since we're here, you ought to go and take a look around there. Check how clear that spring really is.
All right. I'll see what's going on there.
And I'm going to enjoy having a helper. At least for one day. Maybe I'll roll around in the grass here with Snorter and Dragonfly.
Christ, pardon me.
I'd rather go back to sacks of flour.
God reward you for it.
God don't reward me much, but I'll probably get something from the bailiff for hauling.
Well, I wish you and your helper lots of luck today. May God bless you.
You too. You too.
Ew. Is this really worth it?
Pretty epic, eh? They lived like royalty here.
So, what do you think, Dragonfly? How's he doing? Get over here so we can carry on.
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
And what about this mysterious curse?
Oh, right. Slipped my mind. The watering spot, you said?
Aye. Take a look around. See if you find anything fishy.
Heal! Those pigs came here to drink. Where to now? I can smell something upstream.
Praise God.
It really wasn't a curse. There are rotting carcasses in the water upstream from the watering spot. No wonder the pigs caught some disease.
Well, what do you know? I was right. I'll give you a hand. It'd take you all night on your own.
I took care of the carcasses. We can drive on.
Nice work. There's even a bit of meat left for me.
Yeah, you'd eat that. They've been lying there God knows how long.
But nicely in the cold. There's nothing wrong with it. Anyway, you won't be eating it, so don't worry about it. Let's keep going. Lads, seeing as how
Look what I
you
have
think
for
of
you.
me, you're surely horsing around today.
Greetings to you.
Do you buy wolf ears?
That's right. You get a few groschen for every dead animal.
Here they are.
Come on, then. Get a move
A
on.
dead wolf is a good wolf. Nobody's going to cry for them around here.
God be with you.
So far, it ain't that bad, eh? You don't have to take down no hanged man or bury an unbaptized child.
Well, ever since I started working for the miller, all I did was carry sacks. The sack makers here in the region must live like kings. Of course, it could be a lot worse.
I like having to carry sacks full of thistles. Now listen to me closely. You won't be carrying anything at the next farmstead. Instead, you'll have to make one carcass there. See, the work of a knacker ain't just about clearing away dead animals. Now and then, you've got to put down some creature, so it don't suffer. Or, like today, to put it down so everyone around it don't have to suffer. In this case, we're talking about a dog.
I'm sorry, Ignatius, my friend, but you can't expect me to do that.
In that case, as soon as we get where we're going, you can just get off the wagon and go and look for that pitch yourself. If you don't do what I tell you, you're useless to me. So I'll be useless to you too.
Maybe there's another way. I'll try to come up with something.
Ha! That cur belongs to the greengrocer, Vizar. I've heard they're both pretty fierce. Don't draw too much attention to yourself at the farmstead. I'll give you some Aesop potion to drink first, and some meat and bane. Soak the meat with the poison and throw it to the dog. He'll probably be locked in a pen somewhere. As soon as it's done, we'll disappear before anyone notices anything. I got paid well for it from the neighbors, so don't fuck it up for me. Lazy bones. Excuse me.
Greetings. Good to see you. And to you. Greetings
Christ,
to you.
pardon me.
You have a kind master, eh, Doggy?
My
God
son.
bless.
My
What do we
friend.
What do you want, Ignatius?
We were picking up some carcasses near Dar, so I thought I'd stop by.
Oh, Sakra. The dog isn't here. The door's open. Where did he run off to? Barking? He's coming from over there. Mutt!
Where'd you come from? What are you doing?
Bonnie? What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Now, first, tell me what you're doing here. And how come you're with that beast?
He's no beast. I came here to save him.
You mean steal him?
For him, it'll be a rig and I were here last. I saw how old Visaric treats him. He doesn't give him food. He abuses him. With a master like that, he won't last long. You wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because its master is a sick horseman, would you?
Well, you don't have to convince me. Ever since the gravedigger told me to do it, I've been trying to figure out how to save that dog. If you want to take him, I won't stop you.
You're a much better Christian than I thought you were. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there.
Hurry off now, before someone sees us together.
Come on now, boy. You'll like it in the lair. I apologize.
Heel!
God bless you.
Oh, you gooch.
I hope you find what you're looking for next time.
Here, Mutt!
Good doggy. Good boy.
Thank you, sir. And come again. Nothing to your liking, sir.
It's taken care of.
Taken care of? What do you mean?
The dog is dead. So, can we go to the pit now?
Dead, eh? And what are you so nervous about?
Well, it wasn't pleasant to watch. I did it exactly how you told me. I poisoned him.
Oh, aye. And how did it go exactly?
I dipped the meat in poison. He ate it, and peacefully departed to doggy heaven.
So, it all went how it should. I use a real strong mixture so the creatures don't suffer too much. He's done for, the beast. Finally. Let's go before we start looking suspicious.
So this is it. This is the pit.
Slowly, boy. Slowly. Have a bit of respect. Death always deserves respect, whether it's people or animals.
But there's hardly 3 heaps here. Is this really it? Are you yanking my pizzle again?
Of course not. True, it used to be one big pit. But then I found out when you pile up carcasses in smaller pits and throw some wet hay between them, it all rots better. And the better it rots, the more nitra you'll have. Are you going to take some right away?
I won't. The miller will probably send some people here.
Well, they'd better not dig it all up. That'd disturb the natural balance, see? And soon they'll find out there's no place to find saltpeter.
Well, I reckon I'm delaying the inevitable. I'll still have to taste it.
You're going to taste it?
It's the only way I can be certain it really is saltpeter.
God's nails. And they say I'm disgusting. Wait a moment. I've got a reward for you. Just so's you don't think old Ignatius and his even older nags is ungrateful riffraff. Take it as a thanks for your help. Maybe you'll take over my trade one day when I'm pushing up daisies myself.
Who knows? Maybe that'll really be my fate. I'll live at the cemetery, build piles of carcasses, and eat bread with saltpeter.
Here's something that'll definitely come in handy if you ever need to go through all this again. Either with me or somewhere else.
Thanks.
Taste it then. Get to it. This I have got to see. You didn't have to make such a feast of it.
Look at me. From a lord's messenger to a taster of cadavers. Cold and salty. This must be it.
At the mill?
Yeah, the place by the Zhehorovka stream.
What then? Has the water sprite been up to his mischief?
Eh? Hey there. Stop a while and have a drink. We could play dice.
God bless you.
You silly doggy.
Courage! I hope Lady Luck will be on my side.
Here you go. Take it.
Careful.
God bless you, sir.
I found the place where we can harvest saltpeter. You just head out of Troskovitz towards Apollonia, carry on alongside the road, then head off it at the right spot. Only it's not a pit, it's 3 piles of earth. The gravedigger Ignatius drove me there himself.
And is it the real stuff? Did you taste it?
Yeah. And I hope I never have to do that again. Ugh. I think the experience has changed me forever.
Oh, come on. You whine more than Zinnik. It's just commonplace salt. I was hoping it'd be closer. To go all the way to Apollonia. If I send 2 wagons, that should be enough.
What should I do?
That means I could mix a barrel and a half.
Krazel, focus. What else do you need from me?
Oh, sorry. What were you asking? About a reward? It's right here.
Thanks. How's it going with the golem?
Well, the whole thing is really appealing to a scholar of my field of interest and important for humanity. But certain circumstances have emerged which, unfortunately, move its creation somewhere further into the future.
Wait, what do you mean? So there won't be any golem?
Not for now.
What about all the niter? The life essence?
I admitted to myself it's maybe too much to take on, and I decided to go back to my roots.
So the search for saltpeter was for nothing?
Not at all. The saltpeter will help us create primordial matter. The origin. Chaos. Materia prima.
God. Here we go again.
As alchemical scholars, we actually have only one task before us. To penetrate the diaphanum and find out where it gets its disposition and power from. Only then will we understand the nature of the shadows.
Eh?
I'll explain it to you.
Tell me then. So what's the next task, Krazel?
There's a quiet whisper coming from the open gates of Trotsky, carried by the wind all the way here to me. Do you hear it too?
No. I reckon my ears aren't that good.
Scribe Erasm received a chest from Prague, and in that chest...
Hermes Trismegistos' document?
No, a book. And from an author even more venerable than Hermes. It's thin, with a sand-colored cover, embossed. Ordinary at first glance. But the treasures inside, you might say it's a kind of alchemist cookbook.
So you're gonna have me go and pick some locks at the castle, eh?
Did I say anything about stealing? No, when the castle was still closed, I planned to get the book through the castle chamberlain, with the help of a certain woman. But now that you have access to Trotsky yourself, it'll be much simpler.
What about that certain woman? What was your plan?
That's old news. The central figure is now the Trotsky scribe, Erasm. He's a great lover of knowledge. I'm sure he'd be happy to indulge another kindred soul and lend him the book, indefinitely and voluntarily.
Let's hope so. I'll pray I'll be able to convince him, and that I won't have to ride around Trotsky picking up carcasses again. Or worse.
Just do your best. The book is the last piece of the puzzle. The very last. But looking back at your 2 previous tasks, I have no doubt you'll be able to handle the third just as well. Go and see Erasm and ask him about the book. Then you'll see how difficult it will be to get your hands on it. Best of luck, Henry.
I reckon I'll need it.
Take care.
Say your prayers.
Yes, Wayne. I surrender! I surrender! Greetings to you. What is it? Are you whistling just for fun? Hey, God, no! He's dead! You silly doggy.
Greetings, my friend.
God!
You nearly killed me!
Easy, good horse.
Thank you, sir. And come again.
Word about the price.
Very well.
Do we have a deal?
More.
Only because it's you.
Well, if you offer a little bit more, we can make a deal. Finally, a reasonable sum. I was glad to be of help to you, good sir.
Why the long face?
Oh, just got this nonsense.
Excuse me.
Good day.
I heard some interesting books from Prague have arrived at the castle. There's one I'd like to borrow. An alchemist's cookbook. A sand-coloured cover, embossed.
Yes, several rare and astonishing books have arrived from Prague. But why are you interested in an alchemist's cookbook, of all things?
I've heard there are some interesting ideas in it. Every alchemist is in dogged pursuit of wisdom, especially those from Prague.
Perhaps you know more about that book than I do. Well, I'll have to disappoint you. Lord Nickvard Libak helped me sort the new books at the time, and the one you're looking for caught his attention. He left with it before I could even discover what it's about. All I remember is the author's initials, B.B. I'm fairly benevolent when it comes to lending books, and I appreciate Nickvard's help, but he's had it borrowed for an excessive amount of time now. I'd like to ask him to return it, but he's been avoiding me.
Why would Nickvard suddenly be avoiding you?
I have a sneaking suspicion. It seems Nickvard lost the book. I've warned him repeatedly not to carry borrowed books around with him, but to leave them in his chamber and read them there. But Nickvard is old and stubborn, and this is how things turn out.
It's still just a book. Paper and leather.
You say that? To a scribe?
I thought there were more precious things. Like a human life.
We could have a long discussion comparing the value of a Takovite peasant's life with, say, a treatise on physics by Hildegard von Bingen. But I digress. As I said, Nickvard is intentionally avoiding me. But I've made headway. I've managed to find 3 people who've spoken to him recently. Bertha, the cook, Regina, the maid, and Hirsch, the hand.
For a nobleman, Nickvard is quite wary of his own kind, speaking only to servants.
I'm surprised that he's ever spoken to anyone but myself. Nickvard is a loner, which is also why I suspect something bad has happened. Now that he's decided to leave his shell, that is. But I'm afraid that's all I've managed to find out. Since Lord von Berkove's arrival, I've been preoccupied with other matters.
I'll help you. I'll ask all 3 and see if they lead me to Nickvard.
Many thanks. If you aren't sure what to do, stop by and we'll discuss what you found out.
All right.
Before I go, can you tell me where I can find those people in the castle?
Who, exactly?
That's everything I needed to know. About that lost alchemy book.
Please tell me.
I'm sorry.
Careful.
About that lost alchemy book.
Please.
First, I need to find the people who might have run into Nickvard.
Who exactly here at Trotsky? Like a ghost. His chambers are in the Crone's Tower. But God knows if he's ever slept there. He took his meals down in the Crone's kitchen. Lately, I've often seen him talking to Regina in the Knight's Hall, in the Maiden, or looking out the hall window. I caught sight of him a few times with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle.
So I just have to hope I run into him somewhere.
Nickvard always just shows up. I've rarely ever found him on my own. I'm not surprised you can't find him anywhere, since I've been trying myself.
Where is Bertha?
Bertha cooks for us in the Crone's kitchen. She's there most days. If you can't find her there, try the first house in the lower castle, across from the door to the dungeon.
Where is Regina?
As Lord von Berkoff's personal maid, she'll likely be somewhere in the Maiden's Palace. Perhaps in the Knight's Hall, or on the floor above it, near the Lord's chambers. She even sleeps there.
Where is Hirsch, the stable boy?
I've seen him with Hirsch at the transport yard below the castle. He sleeps in the house directly across from it. I don't know him much, though.
That's everything I needed to know.
I apologize. Welcome, sir. What can I do for you?
Do you know where I can find Nickvard? The scribe said you might know.
Erazim is suddenly interested in Nickvard and me. You don't say. But when I need him to read something for me, he never has the time. I'm sorry.
I was asking about Nickvard.
Aye, I heard you. Say, can you read?
I can.
In that case, would you mind reading this message I have from Nickvard?
Show me. Dear Mistress of the Chambers. What is it?
Oh, what I wouldn't give to get messages from someone else. Say, Lord Capon. Never mind. Read on. Though I reckon it interests you more than me.
Persevere. We shall soon escape the dungeon of those two women. Cursed fate, however, has placed an obstacle in my way. The heat of the Lightbringer's potion is working, and I can feel my insides being reborn. But when the last remnants of old age left my body, something else was washed away with them.
How much longer is it?
Not much. My damn clumsiness has sent all of the Lightbringer's secrets into the void, but fear not, I shall get them back. May this be the first task on the road to your liberation. That's it.
Beautiful.
True enough. Nickvard has a flair for the dramatic.
My, that's Liebach for you.
But what does it mean? Can you explain any of it to me?
Lord Liebach has taken a liking to me. I suggested to him it wasn't proper for a noble to have an affair with a maid. He thought I meant he was too old for me. But then he found what he calls the Lightbringer's potion book. He said it would light a flame in him that would burn out all that's old. So I suppose it worked. Hooray!
I know the book he's talking about, but what does he mean, into the void?
Look, can we stop talking about this? I feel a little uncomfortable here, talking about some old lovelorn nobleman.
I understand. Just one more thing, please. When was the last time you saw Nickvard? And where?
The last time was in the Knight's Hall. But that was a long time ago. I found that message a few days ago. Hard to say where he's off to.
Thanks anyway.
Sir, take my thing. To my chamber. I'm sorry.
I'm in no mood for nonsense. So no messing about. Got it?
Don't worry. I'm a saint.
You better be.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Bertha, instead of devils, I need your help now with Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Well, I'm waiting for Lord Liebach to stop by. I brewed him another phial of medicine, but I don't even know if the last one helped. I told him to stop by for another one soon. I reckon he must be feeling better.
Nickvard needed medicine? For what?
I can't say. I promised Lord Liebach his secret is safe with me, as well as his phial of medicine.
Oh, come now. Nickvard misplaced an important book somewhere. A sort of alchemist cookbook. I need to find it.
I remember the recipes by heart. And Lord Libac's secret is certainly worth more than any book.
Listen, Bertha. Do you realise your stubbornness is making everything more difficult? Nickvard could have got himself into a lot of trouble by borrowing that book. Maybe somebody tried to kill him, and you don't even know about it. You think he's suffering from rheumatism or something?
Aye, right, I'm sure that's how it is. Like Lord Libac is part of some grand conspiracy. As if, you idiot.
Well, if a nobleman's secret is worth so much, how about this? That'll buy you more than one book.
I suppose Lord Libac wouldn't mind. And do you have the exact amount?
Of course.
So many groschen. I promise I'll split it with Lord Libac when I see him, and I'll explain everything.
But now tell me, what's the medicine for?
Well, it's a common potion for a bellyache. Just better tasting. It helps your meals go down easier and come out slower the other end. In that regard, Lord Libac had, well, how to say it? Everything came out much too quickly.
Just say it. He shot himself.
It was in the privy down below the Crone, by the training ground below the guardhouse. I helped him clean his hose and made him the medicine, and I promised that I wouldn't say anything. Lord Libac is quite particular about the impression he makes on the young maids, you know. He didn't want this little episode to put them off. That's why he didn't use the privy near the maids' quarters, though it's closer to his chamber, but to the arena instead, and only when there weren't any soldiers around. But this time, it caught up with him.
Is that all?
What else is there to say? That the entire time he looked as if he'd done the worst thing in the world. It happens to the best of us. And I told him as much then. I'm just surprised he never came back for another file. I must say, he did look as if the fate of the entire castle was suddenly on his shoulders.
I don't know if this is going to do me any good.
Well, you could have found a worse clue.
Thanks anyway.
I was wondering if you'd lend me your bullet when it's time to sow.
I'm sorry.
What can you do, sir? Maybe next time.
Careful. Good afternoon.
I'm looking for Nickvard. The scribe told me you might know something about him.
Hey, Nick. I mean, Lord Libac. I almost forgot about him. I suppose his task wasn't so pressing.
What do you mean, forgot?
Nick Libac, that is, entrusted me with a big task quite a while back. He's a castle lord. Obviously, I had to obey him. But then I heard what another castle lord was planning, von Berghoff, and I had to obey him even more. He says there's a war on. So here I am, ready to go off to battle.
I need to know more about what Nickvard asked you to do.
No. There are new rules now. You have to prove you're not a spy.
What are you blathering about?
Von Berghoff said there's a war on, right now. I told him, watch out for spies, Sir Otto. But fear not, I know how to sniff them out. You're a spy yourself, ain't you?
I'm not.
Ha! That's exactly what a spy would say. That's why you have to be vetted, to see if you're really on our side. The side that Nickvard's on, just so you know. We're all friends here. You can join us.
I'd like to.
Hold your horses. First a test.
Tell me what you want from me, then.
A sword.
Sword? What sword?
A long and very good one to help me deal with other spies. If you bring it to me, I'll know you're not an enemy spy who should fear me. Forge one, buy one, or even steal one for me. Maybe from one of the guards at the training ground or down by the gate. During the day, they're not in the towers anyway. Once I get a sword, I'll fill you in on Nickvard's task.
You wanted a sword, so look at what I got for you.
I don't want an invisible sword. Them are spy swords. Suspicious.
I'll think of a way.
Greetings to you.
How's it going? My wife and I are pickling cabbage. Loads of it. Again. That's what you said last week.
And the one before that.
It's good for you. Pickled cabbage drives out the black bile and puts your fluids in balance. Saturn and Jupiter are in a bad constellation at the moment. That churns up the black bile and makes you ill. What would you like?
What do you have for sale?
What can you do, sir? Maybe next time.
I'm sorry.
Word about the price.
Well, I suppose we can try. Aye, you convinced me with that price. I was glad to be of help to you, good sir.
Oh, excuse me.
Nothing to your liking, sir.
About Nickvard.
Got that sword yet, spy?
You wanted a sword? So look at what I got for you.
That's perfect. Lovely. I don't think you're a spy. Can't say for sure, but you seem all right.
What about Nickvard, then?
Nickvard asked me to do something for him. He must have admired my devotion to Lord von Bergoth.
You mainly appear to be devoted to idling. Shouldn't you be carrying sacks like the others?
Either way, Nick looked troubled and not very healthy. He wanted me to fetch him something he lost outside the castle, and I told him I would. At least I could check to see if anyone was sneaking around about the castle. But then Nickvard clutched his belly and ran off. So I never found out what he wanted, or from where.
That's all?
Aye. If you run into Nickvard, ask him if he still needs it or whether he found it himself. I'll be going into war soon, so I don't have time for these things, see?
I'll tell him.
I wouldn't want... What do you need, sir?
Would you repair...
How's life treating you? Not too bad, but I've got so much to do. I don't want some good for nothing in my house. I need someone who's capable and has a good head on his shoulders. And most importantly, doesn't drink. You're no saint yourself.
I'm sorry.